Hello students, hope you are doing good. I'm going to begin the first chapter, Power Sharing of Political Science, Class 10. We'll resume the tour of democracy that we started last year. We have already discussed last year that an intelligent sharing of power among legislative, executive and judiciary is very important to the design of democracy. Today, we'll talk about power sharing with an introduction to power sharing. We'll go with two case studies, one of Belgium and another one of Sri Lanka. These two case studies are extremely important because as an example, we would utilize it in the upcoming chapters as well. We'll understand the ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka. We'll identify the communities and regions of Belgium and Sri Lanka. After this lesson, you would be able to identify and locate Belgium and Sri Lanka on a world map. You would be able to tell the story of Belgium and Sri Lanka. Also, you can list the communities and regions of Belgium and Sri Lanka. Look at this picture. Observe the picture. There's a girl standing in front of a blackboard and she is putting an equation based on the idea that came in her mind about power sharing. So, in the first instance, if anybody would listen to the term power sharing, that could clearly be the idea. So, she has written sharing power equals to dividing power equals to weakening the country. It means when you share something, it gets divided. And if something gets divided, of course, that would weaken something, isn't it? However, is this the case? Is it true? Let's find out. At first, what power sharing is? Power sharing is a political arrangement in which different or opposing groups all take part in government together. Like last year, we have discussed about legislative, executive and judiciary. So that is like sharing of power in the government. Sharing power is not dividing power, but strengthening power of institutions of democracy. In order to understand power sharing in a better way, let's brainstorm. Let's think over it. I'm giving you an example from your real life experience. Let's say there are 4 class monitors in your class. One is from blue house, another one is from green house, another one is from red, and the other one is from yellow house. And in this hypothetical situation, imaginary situation, let's say I as a teacher favor blue house, and the members or the students of blue house are never punished. Other houses are punished and they are not favored. In this situation, let's brainstorm the ideas. What would happen? What other houses and the members of other house would think about blue house and the leader of the blue house? Because blue house is getting all the privileges. Let's write down the points. Let's think over it. After brainstorming, you would have got several ideas what other houses would feel about blue house. And I am pretty sure that your ideas would be similar to what I have mentioned in the slide. The other houses would have feeling of hatred. There would be tension in the class. There would be fight. There would be conflicts. There would be displeasure. There would be dissatisfaction. And the other houses and the leaders would feel that they are disregarded, they are alienated, means separated, and the atmosphere of the class would never be a healthy atmosphere. The same would be the outcome of not sharing power in any sphere, in the political sphere or any sphere. And as we are discussing specifically in the political sphere, so yes, that would be the situation. Now another situation, second situation, in which everybody is equally respected, everyone has their own say, and teacher gives value to all the houses. The atmosphere of the class would be very good, and all these issues would automatically be resolved. Now we have two case studies, Belgium and Sri Lanka. We'll go ahead with case study of Belgium, which is a European country, and Sri Lanka, which is an Asian country, to understand power sharing and its importance. Before going forward to the case studies, it is very important to understand this term ethnic division. You all must be familiar to the term ethnic. When you go to a mall, when you go to any e-commerce website for online shopping, you find a particular section that is ethnic section, and that is like ethnic wear. So in the ethnic section you find traditional wear, all the traditional clothes. So from there we'll connect it to ethnic division. So when we say division in the society, which is ethnic or ethnic division, it is based on two keywords that you need to keep in mind. One is shared culture and the other one is common descent. Descent means origin. So it is like similar origin or similar forefathers. So two keywords that you need to keep in mind. Ethnic division has, one is shared culture, another one is common descent. So very simply, now we can define ethnic division as a social division based on shared culture. People belonging to the same ethnic group believe in their common descent because of similarities of physical type or of culture or both. They need not always have the same religion or nationality. So I believe you are clear with the meaning of ethnic division. Now let's observe the location of Belgium. The geographical location of Belgium is in Europe. You can see here on this world map, it is just north to France. It is, you can see, in between Germany and France you have Belgium. Let's have a general idea about Belgium. It is a small country in Europe and it is smaller in area than the state of Haryana. It has borders with France, the Netherlands, Germany and Luxembourg. It has a population of little over 1 crore, that is about half the population of Delhi. The most important thing in Belgium is that the ethnic composition of this small country is very complex. Belgium, communities and regions. Please observe this map. There is the map of Belgium, and understand the communities and regions of Belgium through this map. So the map is divided with different colors. You can see at the top it's yellow in color. Southwards, downward, you can see it is red in color. Southeast, it is shaded. Nearly at the center you see a small region orange in color, and that is the capital of Belgium, which is Brussels. The yellow region at the top is called Flemish region, and it is a Dutch speaking region. The population of Dutch speaking people is 59% of the total population of Belgium. Southwards you can see Wallonian region. The concentration of population is of French speakers. It's a French speaking population dominated area, and the percentage of French speakers is 40% of the total population of Belgium. In the southeast you see German speakers 1%, and the most complex structure is found in the capital city Brussels. In capital city Brussels, 80% are French speakers and 20% are Dutch speakers. Now you can clearly gaze upon the distribution and the complex ethnic structure of Belgium. Let's talk about the situation of Belgium between the 1950s and 1960s. The minority French speaking community was relatively rich and powerful. You all know it very well. Last year also you have studied about French speakers and you have studied about French Revolution. So French is always considered as the language of aristocrat commonly, and French speakers were always rich and powerful, and this was resented not like by the Dutch speaking community, who got the benefit of economic development and education much later. So French speakers were highly educated, rich, powerful, and due to this there had been tension between the Dutch speaking and French speaking communities during the 1950s and 1960s. And the tension between the two communities was so acute that it was very difficult to handle in Brussels. And the reason is very clear. 80% French speakers and 20% Dutch speakers. Brussels presented a special problem. The Dutch speaking people constituted a majority in the country but a minority in the capital. So consider a situation if people in the country would be suppressed. I'm talking about the Dutch speakers. If they suppress French speakers anywhere in Belgium, the repercussion was there in Brussels because the population of French speakers was more in the Brussels, in the capital. So it was a very fiery situation and a situation of conflict and tensions. Now look at this map to have the geographical location of Sri Lanka. You can see this world map. On this world map you can see the location of Sri Lanka. I understand that you are already aware of the location of Sri Lanka. It is southeast to India, to the southernmost corner of India, and it is an island country. You can clearly see it on the map of this world. Now let's have an overview of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island nation just a few kilometers of the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. It got independence in 1948, 1 year later than India. It has a population of about 2 crore people. Like other nations in South Asia region, Sri Lanka has a diverse population. The major social groups are the Sinhala speakers 74% and the Tamil speakers 18%. Now let's discuss the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. If we see the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka, the ethnic division is in 3 categories. The first one is Sinhala speakers, and they constitute 74% of the total population. Huge population of 74%, and they are Buddhists. And the second category is of Tamil speakers. They are 18% of the total population. Hindus and Muslims constitute the Tamil speakers, and there is a further division of Tamil speakers. There are 2 categories under the Tamil speakers. You can see here. The first one is of Sri Lankan Tamils, and their population is 13%. And the second category is of Indian Tamils, and their population is 5%. So out of 18%, 13% Sri Lankan Tamils and 5% Indian Tamils. And now the third category is of Christians, and they are nearly 7% of the total population. Here I would also like to tell you about the categorization of Sri Lankan Tamils and Indian Tamils. Who are these Indian Tamils? First, Sri Lankan Tamils are the native population of Sri Lanka. They are Tamils. And Indian Tamils are those Indians who were migrated to Sri Lanka as bonded laborers for tea and coffee cultivation under the British rule. Now let's discuss about Tamil speakers again. Among Tamil speakers there are 2 subgroups. Tamil natives of the country are called Sri Lankan Tamils, 13%. We have already discussed that in the previous slide. The rest, whose forefathers came from India as plantation workers during colonial period, means British rule, are called Indian Tamils. As you can see from the map on the previous slide, Sri Lankan Tamils are concentrated in the north and east of the country. Most of the Sinhala speaking people are Buddhists, while most of the Tamils are Hindus or Muslims. There are about 7% Christians who are both Tamil and Sinhala. So we have got an idea of Belgium as well as Sri Lanka, about the ethnic division, ethnic composition of Sri Lanka and Belgium. Now think and imagine. Just imagine what could happen in situations like this. In Belgium, the Dutch community could take advantage of its numeric majority and force its will, its desire on the French and German speaking population. This would push the conflict among communities further. Very simple. This could lead to a very messy partition of the country if both sides would not agree, if both the sides would claim control over Brussels. On the other hand, again in Sri Lanka, the Sinhala community enjoyed an even bigger majority and could impose its will, its desire on the entire country. We'll discuss what happened in both these countries in the next class. Based on what we discussed today in this lesson, I have assignment questions for you. The first one is list the possible outcomes when power is not shared. We have already discussed that. What do you mean by ethnic division? You are very clear. You can put the answer here for ethnic division. Discuss the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. Discuss the ethnic composition of Belgium. Describe the situation of Belgium and Sri Lanka. So while describing the situation of Belgium and Sri Lanka, you need to tell about the ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka. You have an MCQ assignment with this particular link. I am posting this link in the description also. You can simply click on this link and answer the questions there. It will be evaluated immediately. Once you would submit it, you'll get the answer and you'll get your score as well. You would be able to answer all these questions on the basis of what we have discussed today. Thank you. Have a great day.